Bitcoin and DeFi versus everything else. As an investor, I'm looking to get a return on the capital deployed. And I'm making decisions as I build portfolios based on where's the best return based upon my long term plan, the risk I want to take, and the management of it all. And so I want to have some fun today in this video, and I also want to make it two ways. In the comments, leave something that lands, or maybe you want to add to it, or maybe you don't agree with something I'm sharing. Would love to hear. So first, let's establish some ground rules. I have some savings in a bank account right now that's paying me 4.5%. That's really good. So I do keep savings in a bank account at 4.5%. I keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account, and it makes me 4.5%. It's not going to make me rich, but it's making me something. That's a really high interest savings account, and it's actually insured for $250,000, which is awesome. Let's say real estate on average is returning you 8% cash on cash, maybe IRR, maybe overall returns a little higher because the value of the property is going up. Let's call it 9%, 10%, even 11%. Let's really stretch it. I know some real estate investors that are doing 14, 15%, but that's kind of an exception to the rule. It depends what market you live in and where you live. Stocks on average, let's call it 7%. Now, yes, some people outperform that. Some people double that to 14%. Most people underperform that because they're actively managing their portfolios and they're making some really bad decisions. Private lending, 9%, 10%. I know some private lenders that do 12, 13%, and they're over the moon with that. Gold has returned 1.5% since 2011, or let me see where gold is at. Yes, it's not in. Yep, there it is, gold. Okay, so this chart is 2.2% annualized since 2011 to 2023. Annualized, we got 2.2%, so a little bit higher than that. Bitcoin annualized is 150% since 2011. It's not super fair because this stops at 2022, 2023, and 2024. We're looking even sexier, so this will be a little bit higher. And you can notice there was 1 year that was minus 58. So that was a bad year. If you got in at the start of the year and exited at the end of the year or during that cycle and you timed it poorly and you weren't in it for the long run, you would have been down 58%. 2018 was down minus 73%, and 2022 was minus 65%. This year alone, we're up 63%. Now, you'll also see a little pattern here, and this will all make sense. This is super important because it's going to help us make decisions on what do we actually want to invest in. When Bitcoin, first started, we saw 1,400%, 5,507% returns, 1,300% in a single year. And since then, of course, with more volume and more investors in the game, and now we have institutions in the game, we're seeing that we're not seeing 5,507%. We're seeing 100%, 200%, 300% returns. Still insane, but you get the point. And I think moving forward, if to annualize Bitcoin, I bet you it'll be less every single year. Maybe we're at 150%, then we're going to see a good year, good 2 years. Maybe we're still at 150%. The cycle after that, we're at 130. Cycle after that, we're at 100. Who knows? I don't know the way the markets are going to go, but all I'm saying is it enough to just hold Bitcoin? And my answer is no. I will hold Bitcoin and blue chip assets, and I'm actually in a BTC pool right now that's doing around 130% returns on the Bitcoin that I have in there. Plus, the portfolio itself will appreciate. If you'd like me to show you that one, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do another video some point this week. But the point is, I want to invest in and be a practitioner and be in the DeFi game, meaning I'm earning returns from 60 to 300%, depending how my portfolio is allocated. We did a portfolio allocation call, so a bit of a health check on, are you diversified? That video I'll put somewhere up here. Just request it in the comments. I'll send it to you. But the point is, I want to be in multiple positions, well diversified across different chains and technologies that are printing me from 60 to 300%. Sometimes we see more than that. That's my cash flow. And then from the cash flow, if I'm just in the crypto DeFi ecosystem and I'm not in anything else, fine. I can reinvest it back in buy and hold. Maybe blue chip is one of the ones we hold the most of. Maybe not. Maybe you don't like Bitcoin. You like Ethereum, Sol, AVAX, BNB, whatever else you're in. Maybe some mid cap, small cap stuff that could probably see 600, 700% returns in a single year. But the point is, we build a business that cash flows us. Please let me know, give the thumbs up if you're like, yes, I've heard this a million times and it clicks. Or maybe for the first time, you're like, oh, we're creating cash flow. So from that cash flow, and I've been doing this, I can cash flow my long-term holdings. I can add more positions into my DeFi portfolio, or maybe I want to set some aside and put it into a high interest savings account because I'm getting ready to make a purchase of something. Maybe I stick it in some private lending, or maybe that's lending over the blockchain at 9, 10, 11, 12%. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of gold. Maybe in the near future, I just own some of it as kind of protection against, just cash. But at the end of the day, I would start and I'd always build a portfolio. Really think through this. I would build a portfolio where I can have, what will return me 100% plus, because that's that's the highest return I can get on my capital. Yes, it takes some education, it takes some learning. Then from that, if I want to diversify into lower risk, I can. Then if I want to diversify into the further lower risk, I can. Then maybe at the end, I just want to hold a bunch of cash. Then at the end, maybe I just want to hold gold at 2% because of the devaluation of the dollar, of course. But to me, I'm like, it's insane in these markets to be like, I'm just going to save my way to becoming rich. It's never going to happen. Or I'm just going to invest in the stock market for the next 40 years and just do that. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't work. The numbers line up. The numbers add up. But why do 40, 50 years of like hoping it works out when you can accelerate that over the next couple years and build ridiculous momentum in the next couple years? Look at this. There's cycles. I know you can see the pattern. There's a cycle, 4 years. There's a cycle, 4 years. There's a cycle, 4 years. 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. Of course, that's not it, but you get the point. I'm just trying to draw it out. Every time this happens, and I know because I've been there, the cycle's over. Oh, sell, it's doomsday. Oh, the market's correct by 30, 40%. Oh, it's doomsday. There's a cycle here, and I think we can all see it. I want to take advantage of these cycles to build massive momentum. Add a zero to your net worth. Then you could diversify it out if you really want. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I'm not telling you how to invest, but I just want to suggest that we use our capital effectively and we build momentum early on so we can buy us time and really accelerate our path. You don't have to, but that's the approach I've always taken. And I'd say it's worked out really, really well. Now, do I have stocks? Yes. Do I have high interest savings accounts? Yes. Am I looking to diversify a few things into more real estate plays? Yeah, I actually have real estate over the blockchain too. I just bought 2 more properties, fractionally, of course, last night. Do I want to get into the private lending game as an accredited investor? Yes. Do I want to hold gold? We move around too much, so right now, no. But maybe in the future. I'm not making any of this the enemy or wrong. But this helps me build a ton of momentum so I can make this possible. I wouldn't do it the other way around. Personally, you got to make your own decision. With that said, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let discussions. Let's have some discussions in the comments. We also have these discussions a lot inside the Underdog Investor Group. We really talk investing. We take a very strategic approach to investing in crypto and DeFi and liquidity pools and yield farming and long-term buy and holds, and a strategic long-term approach with a 4-year vision, 5-year vision, 10-year vision. Imagine. I always tell people this, just look at history. Imagine if you had some foresight to wait since 2015, you're like, yeah, I'm in this for the next decade. You'd be sitting really pretty on a portfolio. I don't care what you invested in. You have to take a long-term approach. And I think cash flow often. I actually think cash flow for everything. Like, how do we cash flow? How can I turn this asset and cash flow it? How can I turn this and create cash flow with it? And crypto and DeFi present that opportunity. Let's have a discussion. Like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. If you want videos where I talk about some pools and positions I'm in, blue chip stuff, do let me know in the comments. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here again. Like, subscribe, and I'm going to leave 4 videos on the 4 corners of your screen. Study up, hang out, let's have some fun. Dive deep into this stuff. It'll be worth it. You're building a skill that's going to be really worth it because the space ain't going anywhere. It's only going to be bigger. With that said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.